Oh no! He was crying and now he likes it. He's like, oh, movement. We have this huge oxygen tank with us because they didn't give us a smaller one for some reason. Oh boy. He's falling asleep. No, he's choking. Hi you guys, welcome to a new video. If you're new to our channel, my name is Renee and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. If you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below or on one of the corners right here to be subscribed to our channel. So you guys, I'm going to start from the beginning, and if some of the stuff seems super repetitive because you've watched all of our other videos, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to start from the beginning. So Noah was born at 23 weeks one day, and we have no idea why he was born super early. My pregnancy wasn't high risk until the day I went into labor. The day I went into labor, they took Noah straight to the NICU. Obviously, they put him in one of those, I can't even think of the name. They put him in a little box, of course, when he was born, and that box pretty much kept in heat, and they put a bunch of humidity in that box as well because his skin is still super sensitive. He was only 23 weeks, and babies are actually kept in humidity like that until about 36 weeks, and that's when he was taken out of that humidity and be able to be in just a little bassinet without the top on it. So that was great. I feel like I totally just jumped into 36 weeks already. But anyways, going back to the beginning. When he was born, his first week, they did a bunch of tests on him. They did a bunch of blood tests, ultrasounds, x-rays on his brain, heart, and lungs. His lungs were obviously super premature because of his age. He was 23 weeks. And his heart had a hole in it. I guess one of the ducts was still open, and that duct usually closes at 36 weeks, but because he was born super early, it didn't have a chance to close before he was delivered. So that hole in his heart did kind of cause a problem for most of his life, but I will be talking about that a little later on. Let me just try and start at the beginning and stay at one part. Anyways, so he was given medicine for that hole within the first, I want to say 2 weeks. When he was 2 weeks, he was given medicine for that hole through the IV he had, and it still didn't close. And then for his brain, he did have a grade 2 brain bleed, and when the doctor told us that, he wasn't considerate at all. He was super rude, and he told us that it's a grade 2 now, but within the next couple days, it's going to be a grade 4, and we're going to have to choose what to do with him because he won't have a normal life ever again. And then guess what happened when they scanned his brain again a couple days later? It was a grade 2 still, and it didn't even get any bigger. It actually got a little bit smaller, so I don't want to see that doctor in person again because I'm going to not be happy. So one of the really bad things that happened the first couple weeks he was born, I believe he was about 2.5, 3 weeks when this happened, is that his bowel perforated and his whole abdomen was just purple. It was super scary and super hard to look at him like that because it was just purple. Like, imagine having a super purple bruise on your arm. That's what it looked like all over his abdomen. And the hospital did a bunch of tests and a bunch of x-rays, and they said they didn't find any perforation. They didn't see any fluid or any air in the x-rays, and they basically said they didn't know what was going on. And then finally, like a week after that happened, maybe over a week after that happened, they decided to send him to the Children's Hospital in Los Angeles, and there they did a procedure where they basically tested to see what kind of fluid would come out of his abdomen. If it was green, then that means it was stuff that was in his bowels, and his bowel did perforate, and unfortunately that is what they found. They found the color green fluid, green color fluid. They found the green color fluid, and they officially knew that his bowel for sure did perforate and that he would have to have surgery right away to close that up. And the surgery was, I can't think of the actual name of it, but they created a stoma. So they had his bowel kind of sticking out from the outside, and they had a little tiny cover over it, and then all of his poop would go out through there, and that's how he pooped for, I want to say, 2 months. He pooped through the bowel for 2 months before they closed it up again, and honestly, it was hard to look at. You know, he was like a little tiny baby, and he had to poop from his stomach, but it was just so great knowing that he was at a hospital that knew how to take care of him. He was at Children's Hospital Los Angeles. I don't know if I said that already, but they took such good care of him. They were so amazing there. That's a good hospital. Anyway, so I am kind of annoyed with the first hospital he was at for not catching that super early because that bowel perforation caused an infection he had for over a month. He was on one set of antibiotics. It lasted 21 days, and he still had the infection in his blood, and that infection caused a lot of breathing problems. His breathing during that time was not good. His oxygen was way up, and then when that infection started to go away and he wasn't on the antibiotics anymore, he did a lot better at breathing. So that was really good, because it was so hard seeing him not be able to breathe well and just his oxygen saturation go down to like 50, 60 sometimes, even lower a couple times, and all the nurses had to rush into the room to make sure he was okay, suction him. That was super scary. So I am glad after that infection cleared up and he was doing a little bit better and a little older, his breathing did get a lot better. And also, I did mention earlier how they gave him medicine around 2 weeks for the hole in his heart, and I did end up reading that medicine can cause bowel perforation. So I really don't know how the hospital he was at the first time didn't realize that his bowel was perforated if they just gave him medicine for the perforated bowel. I don't know. One of the doctors at the hospital was really nice and really caring, and the other one wasn't. So I have really mixed feelings about the hospital. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm just getting comfortable. It's gonna be a long chat with you guys. So I literally have everything written down because I don't want to forget anything. So I mentioned how, let me see, what am I talking about? So since that medicine for the PDA didn't do anything, he still had that hole in his heart, but because he was so little and because he had just had surgery to get that stoma put, the doctors at the children's hospital didn't want to close up the PDA. They wanted to give it more time, since it was supposed to close around 36 weeks. They wanted to wait until then, which felt like forever. And that PDA is still open. That's what it's called, PDA. The PDA still being open, it was causing a lot of slow weight gain, trouble eating. Whenever they wanted to start like introducing a bottle to him, it did cause him to eat super slowly, and it did cause his breathing to stop whenever he'd start eating. So he wasn't having much luck with that. And then when they finally closed the hole in his heart, he was doing so much better breathing. Literally, whenever he was able to eat after the surgery, he took the whole bottle, no problem, not really any breathing issues, which was so awesome, which kind of makes me wish they didn't wait too long to do the surgery, but I'm glad they did because it was just a lot safer when he was older. And then another thing is his eyes. He was super premature, so his eyes were super premature as well, and they needed to give him shots in his eyes. He got 1 shot in each eye when he was at Children's Hospital, Los Angeles. And then when we moved up to Washington, he ended up getting laser eye surgery in both eyes. Yeah, in both eyes. And that surgery helped a lot. He stopped having irregular, I believe it was vein growth in his eyes, which caused his eyes to be a lot better. Which is just so awesome. He's just doing so good, you guys. And then, what is next? So yeah, I already mentioned to you guys that they closed up the stoma before he was discharged from the hospital. So when he came home, we didn't have to deal with cleaning up like the stoma or cleaning up his poop from there. He just pooped regularly, which is awesome. And the PDA was closed and his heart was doing amazing. He had his first checkup for his heart whenever we moved up to Washington, and it was fine. The doctor said his heart looked so good, he didn't want to see him for another year. He didn't think he needed that. His eyes is what I was talking about. He got the laser eye surgery when we moved up to Washington, and we went a couple months ago, or we went in January, and we were told that he needs glasses, but probably not until he's older because he's nearsighted, and right now he doesn't really need to see anything that's super far away, like when he drives, because he doesn't drive, he's a 1-year-old. So yeah, he doesn't need glasses until maybe he starts going to school or getting a little bit older, which is awesome because I can't even imagine being able to keep glasses on him right now. That wouldn't work out so well. The other thing I haven't really mentioned is his lungs. His lungs were obviously super premature, and when he was discharged from the hospital, he was still on oxygen. They did a sleep study on him, and they found that he had sleep apnea, so they wanted him on oxygen all the time. I mean, he was a newborn. He was technically kind of like a newborn, so he basically slept all the time, so they wanted him to have that oxygen on all the time. And then when we got up here, his doctor started lowering it slowly, and very, very slowly. He is pretty much off of oxygen right now, only on it at night if his saturation drops really low, because we do have him on an oxygen monitor. but it doesn't. His oxygen is so good, you guys. He does so good. I just want to scream it from the roof that he does so good, and I don't want him to have to be on this oxygen anymore because he's just so good. He doesn't need it. And that is a lot of the medical stuff. So I guess this is still kind of medical. He has been doing physical therapy for about 3-4 months already, and I don't know how long they're going to keep that up with him, probably until they feel like he doesn't need it anymore. And he's been doing really well. He started crawling a couple months ago. More recently, he started standing up by himself, which is crazy. I can't even believe he can do that. Like, literally one day we just turned around and he's there, like, pushing himself up and standing, which is awesome, because in December is when he started pulling himself up, and then a month later, yeah, like end of January, he started standing up by himself, and it was just so awesome seeing him do that. His physical therapists were definitely shocked that he was doing that. When I was telling him he was standing up by himself, they were just like, what, already? That was our goal for like 3 months from now. I can't believe he's doing that now. So it's super awesome seeing him doing that. He does walk on like a little walker he has. He pushes it and walks by himself. He walks along the baby gate he has. He'll hold on to the side and like kind of shimmy and walk around it, which is super cool. The only thing he's still having a lot of trouble with is eating. He has been doing a lot better lately. A lot better than he was doing, let's say, like 2 months ago. He's definitely been eating more of the puree foods lately. I've given him a banana. He's taken like kind of little bites off of that because he finally got his 2 bottom front teeth, I want to say a month ago. So he was a little over a year when he got his 2 little teeth. His 2 little bottom front teeth, and they're so cute, guys. So cute. And what else? I don't think I'm missing anything. It has just been super exciting over here, seeing him grow and seeing him do so many things that all his doctors and physical therapists are so surprised that he's doing super early or just doing so well, which is great. And I think that is all, you guys. Our next update is probably going to be when he starts walking, which seems like it's going to be super soon considering how much he's been doing. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have been following our journey from the first few videos I posted, thank you. That is awesome. If you are going through this with your little one, I wish you guys luck on your very long journey, because yes, it is super hard, but it is just awesome seeing them grow and seeing them do so well and do something new each day, each week. Even when they're in the NICU, sometimes it can just be you just sitting there right next to them, just staring at them, because a lot of the time in the NICU, nothing happens. A lot of the time it's like a week goes by and you're just waiting for them to grow, waiting for them to get bigger, waiting for their lungs to get stronger. So that's really hard. Just waiting. Waiting sucks, guys. Waiting really does suck. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you guys. I hope you hit the subscribe button down below or on one of the corners right here. I can never remember which side it is. I think it's this one. I think it's this side. If it's this side, give this video a thumbs up so I know I'm pointing at the right side. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you guys in our next video. Bye!